We're super excited to talk about today's topic. So without further ado, we'll share our screen here, get this thing rocking and rolling, and really just look to provide you guys with some insight, some details around how we help small business owners, as well as, like today's topic says, all about multi-product marketing and using multiple channels to really be able to leverage your customer base, right? The idea behind what we're talking about today is being able to offer multiple solutions to the same customer, allowing for things like higher retention rates, hopefully stickier offerings when it comes to the products that you offer, and really just all around good info on how to utilize multiple products to reach the same customer and increase conversions. So,
and at the end of the day, this is what a lot of companies are doing right now, whether it's just you and the company or it's you and a few team members. Being able to offer a multitude of different products allows you to bring in a larger client base and has more potential to service that existing client base that you have.
For sure. Just to get things going here, we'll do a quick little intro. I know Tim kind of just told his little story. My story is kind of similar. Prior to this, I was not in the industry as well. I was coaching college football. I was working in a machine shop. Basically doing what I had to do to coach football. And I was lucky enough to land on my feet and start in this career here. And here we are, close to 9 years later. And I can't say anything other than I'm so happy to be a rock star. That's for sure. But I'm the VP of Business Development here. To my left, and maybe you're right or left, I'm not really sure how it works on the camera, is Tim, and he's our Director of Business Development. And what makes us a unique tandem to talk about this topic is, honestly, when it comes to working with multiple products, that's where we thrive, right? We sell to commercial finance brokers, to bankers, attorneys, CPAs on the daily. But what we sell them is access to our platform. And our platform is made up of 75 different banks and lenders. It's made up of a bunch of different loan options. So we'll go into all this stuff more and more, but just wanted to kind of give you guys an idea why we're talking about this.
Yeah. And it's so funny you say that, because I was having a conversation with one of the BD team members today, and we were talking about, being that the partnership platform is free, we're not really selling anything. We're more so getting individuals to buy into it and understand the importance of and the value behind it. And what we're going to do today is talking about how can you continue to provide value to retaining customers? How can you attract new customers? How can you offer different products to, at the end of the day, just increase your influence in your network and get people to buy into the services that you offer, hopefully by offering multiple of them.
Yeah, absolutely. And just to keep things going, right? A little bit about ROK Financial to get started. And I always like to point this out at the beginning of our webinars. More than anything, why we show up every single day is this vision that's right in front of you here. It's to help small business owners generate perpetual opportunities through simple business financing. What does that mean? That means that very first part, helping business owners, is our passion. Right? We're here to make sure that we're streamlining operations, decision-making processes, so that small business owners can continue to grow and thrive while utilizing the capital options that are available to them today, right? One of the things that I can tell you about financing is there are tons of different options available today. What's really unique is being able to really go through all that data and all that information and find what's right for each and every different business owner with their different opportunities. So,
yeah. And I mean, really honing in on the simplifying aspect of getting access to capital, because any one of us can go right now, open up a tab, type in business loans, and see all the companies that are on there are offering it. But they'll show you maybe 2 to 3 requirements of what it takes to qualify. But as a marketplace, we understand that all of these lenders really have almost 45 to 50 different qualifying criteria, and that really needs to be met in order to approve a business owner. So when you're working with a marketplace platform like ours, we're not only streamlining the application process, but we know that we're working with credible resources that are going to look and consider that business based on the unique position that they're in, which they might not really be able to find online.
And what's interesting is when you do Google that and you see your top 3 to 5 results, I can guarantee 70 to 80% of them are going to send business to ROK Financial. So,
or they're just paying a lot of money to be there.
Yeah. So what is multi-product marketing, right? It's promoting / cross-selling multiple products or services together to your same customer base. It's hard enough in business today to generate a prospect. right? That's difficult in and of itself. But once you have that prospect in front of you, the idea is, monetize by any means, I guess is probably a good way of putting it. And I don't want to sound aggressive when saying that. I just want you to understand that you have one choice as a salesperson or a marketer or whatever channel you want to kind of look at it. You can either execute or not execute on selling to that prospect, right? You can either close the deal or not close the deal. So what can you do to separate yourself from the pack? What can you do to bring new and fresh and updated ideas as well as solutions to your customers, right? So that's where this comes in.
And on the thought of that, there's a cost of acquiring this data that you're trying to present your products to, right? So by being able to offer multiple levels of products to them, if they don't fit within one box, having additional resources and additional options for them to consider is what may bring them to that original option that they applied for down the road, and still help them with some level of service, some level of product now that they can benefit and leverage.
For sure. It's super important that when you're looking at your prospects, regardless where they are in the process, you have some sort of way to get them to the next step,
Absolutely.
So how is it critical, right? How is it crucial for driving conversions and revenue? Well, think about it like this. If you were able to offer multiple solutions and service needs in a variety of ways, you can do things like increase the lifetime value of your customers or enhance their experience, right? You're creating a competitive advantage, right? If you offer things that your competitors simply don't, think about it like a pizza place that offers delivery versus one that doesn't, right? That's a whole new market, but you're technically selling to that same local footprint, right? Like you're really looking at the same type of thing. And maybe it's because we had pizza for lunch that I used that example there, but it speaks volumes when you start to diversify what you're doing. And really, like it says, you can tailor your solutions and create a personalization inside of your offering.
Absolutely. And I like to think, and just honing in on the fact of increasing a value within your customer is, let's say you're doing credit repair. That might only be a 3 to 6 month life cycle that you're actually working with that business after their credit is repaired. Or let's say you're helping them get credit cards. Maybe they get 2 or 3 cards and they never need another credit card again. What else can you offer that individual to continue to establish that relationship with them and have them as a client in your book for a long time?
Yeah, absolutely. I do see a quick chat from somebody here that says they can't see the whole screen. They can only see the top of the presentation. Is everybody experiencing that, or is that just one person? If you can let us know in the chat if you guys can see our whole screen. Oh, I went ahead on accident. All right,
thank you, everybody.
Yeah, thank you guys. Ben, I think that was you. If you don't mind and want to try to jump off and jump back on, maybe refresh or something, it might let you see the whole screen. Sorry about that. And thank you again for everybody. Some benefits, right? And as Tim and I were putting this together with our marketing team, shout out to Marilyn and the marketing team that do a great job on these presentations. We were just trying to think of ways to show you why you should look at offering or bundling, your services together, right? Well, think about it like this. If you offered more than one solution, right, or potentially even 2 or 3 different products to a particular prospect, and they were able to buy 2 or 3 different products, how much more does that increase a value of that initial transaction or potentially other transactions in the future, right? So, this could be an immediate thing where you're able to bolt on value, but also bolt on some cost and really increase your revenue and increase your profitability simply by offering multiple solutions.
And I think about this from the perspective of, let's say, like a consultant that has a upfront fee to earn access to their resources and their services. By being able to offer additional services through platforms like ROK and other platforms that help you streamline processes for different services that you don't really have access to, not only are you providing more value back to them, but if there is a conversation where, hey, we're going to leverage you for these resources, know that your services now have higher value. Your services are now at a higher tier level than what they once were by being able to offer multiple different products.
For sure. And Jerry just mentioned in the chat plus it increases our commissions, right? And you're totally right. When you have multiple solutions that you're offering, there is more commission to go around, right? I like to think of it almost with some of the things on the right side of the screen here, like strengthening your marketing position, right? Increasing the engagement that you have within your prospects, right? gathering these valuable insights. What type of insights are we talking about? These are the things that make people buy, right? What is the reason that they actually end up buying your product or services? Well, you can really find out when there's multiple solutions in there. Hey, what was it, or what pain point was it that we were able to address that was the reason that you have actually went and bought, right? Like it says on the bottom, promoting multiple products can increase your customer engagement, boost sales, and enhance profitability. It's really that simple.
Yeah, absolutely. And to touch on your point about, understanding your audience, getting additional information from clients that you already existingly work with. I think back a few months ago where Jennifer and our marketing team actually set up a survey where we were able to learn a little bit more about our existing referral partner base. And now we have better conversations with those professionals because we know more about them. We know what communication style they like. We know their favorite sports team, and we know things like that, which might not really seem relevant in making a sale or doing business. But at the end of the day, when you're generating a relationship with somebody, those are the important things outside of just making money off of them and providing them a service, right?
No, you're totally right. 100%. That's a fact. So if you wanted to create a seamless customer experience, what would it take, right? Well, you got to do things like integrate your brand strategy. What does that mean? That means when you look at your brand, the thing that you're going to then bolt on or add on or cross sell or have multiple products, it should reflect your brand's message and the brand values that you've established inside of your organization already. You should use your customer data. Right. This is a big thing. Your target market should tell you what other products and services that you should be offering to them. Right. There's a lot of different things that you can offer to everybody these days. If you have a list of people, there are people that will buy your list. There'll be people that will market to your list. There's all sorts of different solutions that you can offer today. But use that data. Use what you have in front of you to tell you what to actually offer to those people.
Yeah, absolutely. And at the end of the day, the more refined data that you get and asking the right questions can then lead you into cross-selling these other products much better if you know additional information on them, depending on how you obtain it. Or like we talked about with surveys, looking to go and obtain that data to then be able to bring up other products to them directly.
Great point. Like it says here, coordinate across channels. What that means is, if you're saying something on social media and email and in your sales pitches, that should all be a cohesive experience where it's all working together, again, to bring your prospect down the sales funnel and ultimately convert on the sale, right? Adjust, right? This is the biggest thing. I always say that you can put a plan in place, but that doesn't have anything to do with the success of anything. It's your ability that once that plan starts going, what are we looking at and how are we able to adjust to what we're learning from what's already happening?
Yeah. And one of the things that we have to adjust to pretty much not every day, but just about every week and every month are lending guidelines changing. So when we're doing our marketing, we're presenting information on our website based on what the lenders out there that we work with are putting together for small and medium business is what we're naturally putting back out to our audience also.
For sure. And make sure you have all your processes and all of your departments bought into this idea, right? Like at the end of the day, the worst thing that you could do is go market something that your sales team's not going to then sell or doesn't see the value in. Make sure that everybody's kind of bought in across the organization. And listen, if you're a one-man band, right? Make sure that you're telling that same story across all the different channels. Your marketing, your sales tactics, they should all speak to the same type of experience and ultimately the same type of solutions.
Yeah, the best case scenario is you bring a boatload of new leads in and new opportunities in from this, but the worst case scenario is not being prepared for it when you actually do.
It's a great point. Nothing like not being able to service the leads once you got them, right? All right, so a couple strategies, right? We're not big readers off the slide, right? But I do know that this bottom line here was something that we definitely wanted to talk about. Use a needs-based approach, right? Study your market, make sure you understand their challenges and opportunities, and then use that to help them solve what you're trying to do, right? Let me tell you a quick story. When I first started in this industry, we were 100% driven by marketing dollars. We had an extensive marketing budget. That is no longer the case today. We, in fact, don't really market to small businesses directly all that much. 85 to 95% of our business comes from you guys, our referral partners. And that change happened right around COVID, because there was a needs-based approach that we took, right? We started to market to small businesses after COVID. We started to market to referral partners after COVID. And what we found was there was just lack of information everywhere, right? So we still had great lending relationships. We still had all the data to make data-driven decisions. So we utilized that to share it with our referral network. And that's where the shift happened, right? We no longer were servicing small business owners directly. We were servicing them indirectly through educating our referral partners, and used that needs-based approach to discover what challenges and opportunities were out there. And then we taught you, our referral partners, our cross-selling and upselling opportunities, where you can pair a line of credit with a loan or an advance, or you can utilize something like a line of credit to then graduate into an SBA loan or a commercial real estate style deal, right? So there's a lot that can come from you really understanding your market, and then using that data and information to help you sell what it is that you're actually trying to sell.
Absolutely. And on top of just selling that back to the business comes with the information you're presenting on your website, the information that you're putting in your marketing, the types of messages that you're putting out. If you're in a specific industry, such as trucking and transportation, you're going to want to understand the challenges of that industry and leverage those challenges, not only in your conversations, but in the information that you put online, the information that you put in email, so it resonates on the needs of who you're trying to target.
For sure. And shout out to Albert, longtime partner in the chat here. He said transparency is everything when it comes to cross-selling products and services, correct? Absolutely, Albert. If you're not providing extreme detail into why these things make sense, it just looks like you're trying to sell somebody two of something, right? But when you show them, hey, these are complementary to one another, and your scenario or your challenges or opportunities that you're facing, it just makes it that much more apparent as to why they should work with you specifically, and ultimately convert for you inside of your business.
Absolutely. And one of the last sections here talks about proof and reviews. We're very, very lucky to hit over 1,000 on one of our review sites the past few days, which was very exciting for us. And one of the things that we do with reviews is we leverage those in our marketing.
For sure.
You see them on every single webinar. I don't know if they're on this one, but in any other webinar that we've had, especially when they're targeted towards more partnership related, leveraging reviews to talk about how you do business with people similar to who you're targeting is what's going to help them feel safe and secure, is understanding that, okay, now I see all this information. I see the reviews online. I see a relative similar to me with a review about it. They're now going to feel more comfortable.
Yeah, absolutely. And, it just adds validity, right? Especially in today's day and age, where you look at somebody wrong and they want to leave you a bad review. It's a powerful tool to have a reputation where you can utilize that. And if you have one, show it off. Because let's face it, most businesses today don't have that. What they have is maybe a pretty website or some fancy social media posts. But when
strong ad spend.
Yeah, definitely some strong ad spend. But when push comes to shove, they don't have the stories. They don't have the successes. That's what reviews tell. It tells that, hey, we've been doing this for a while. We got the testimonials to prove it.
It tells realness. And that's what most people need in today's day with all the information and AI that's around there. They're going to appreciate realness more than anything.
Yeah, there's no way to categorize those reviews as fake news. That's for sure. Not when you got thousands of them. All right. So just keeping things going.
Elvia, I would log off of the Zoom and join back if you can, if the screen isn't showing correctly. This was happening to someone earlier today.
Yeah, or you can even, I know somebody was saying you can switch which screen you have pinned potentially inside of the Zoom. So if you want to play around with the Zoom a little bit, sorry about that. Some key examples that drive conversion, right? Obviously, it's effective messaging and positioning, right? Timing your messaging with exactly what it should say and who it's saying it to. It should have clear and persuasive highlights that are showing the benefits of bundling or cross-selling your products. You can even use exclusivity, right? Like, hey, this is only available for a certain period of time, or hey, we're offering this because of that, right? It starts to create a movement and motion within your prospects, right? And I always say motion creates emotion, right? And buying is certainly an emotion type of driven decision. So you want to elicit as much emotion in your buyer as possible.
Absolutely. And in regards to using clear and educational, persuasive ways. I like to think of a scenario where somebody comes to you and let's just say they're looking for insurance or they're looking for a certain financial service, and you're able to provide them a success story on, hey, I had a similar client that came to me looking for this exact service. Let's say it's bookkeeping. And then you started filing their books, you started doing their taxes, and you found out they had a very large loss last year on their tax return. Now that bookkeeper or that accountant now knows that this business likely is not going to get SBA financing or more traditional financing. So they came to them looking for help with filing their quarterly and annualized returns and financials. But now that bookkeeper can confidently offer them working capital or line of credit products that aren't going to be based off that number, where banks are going to base their approval off that number. So
For sure.
bringing the two products together to help them get a better understanding of how it really makes sense and why you're cross-selling it, right?
For sure. So how to wow, that was bad. How to craft a compelling offer, right? First things first is that audience, that data, that information that we were talking about, right? If you have a specific niche, right? They always say there's riches and niches, right? So if you have a specific niche, understand that niche a bit and how you can put an offer together that resonates with them, right? When we do this, when we're talking about like offering something in terms of like bolting things together or cross-selling
in tandem with one another.
Yeah, what we do is we use the information of, okay, well, who does this help? And then we go find them inside of our database, right? We have upwards of 10 million different records in our database. So it's might be a little different for us than you. But when you do it, you can back into the design of what it actually, the offer should be, right? You take a look at that audience and say, okay, what does this audience need? And use that to back you into the offer that you craft. And that should allow you to really understand and predict what type of success that you're going to see. Because if you're then capturing attention and, like it says, driving action, right? That's a big thing for me, is making sure that we're constantly pushing the ball forward with any type of communication, whether it's email, phone, text, social media. We should always prompt a response. We should always move the ball forward, right? In marketing, they call it a call to action, right? You should always have some form of call to action inside of the offer, because that's how you're going to know, does it work or not, right? Is measuring the success of, did they continue to move down the funnel, or ultimately did they actually buy if we're at that stage.
Yeah, and on the topic of understanding audience and designing offers that resonate with the audiences, you might want to have a different marketing message to an existing client of yours about a new product that you're offering to a brand new client that has never utilized the product that you offer, right? Or if you know someone's in the trucking and transportation space, but you also have half of your book in the construction and contracting space, putting together messages that resonate and are directed to them to show them what's going to grab their attention, right? On top of grabbing attention, email titles, what you're actually putting in your emails, what you're saying when you're on the phone with people, diversifying yourself by being able to offer multiple products. They're only going to know about it the way that you educate them on the fact that you offer it. So your delivery, your putting together of the information, how you deliver it to them, it's very important.
For sure. And let the numbers tell you, don't, I always say men lie, women lie, numbers don't, right? If people aren't opening or reading the emails, or they're not seeing your social media content, switch it up, right? Exactly. It's, it could be as simple as the subject line or your hook that they call it on social media. That's the first 3 to 5 seconds of your video. How do you get people's attention, right? These are things that you can change up so that you can leverage this type of information. So, definitely look to utilize all this information as you're going through things, right? If you were to bundle some things, what are the values that your customers can expect? Well, it could potentially be cost savings. It could be convenience. It could create a sense of urgency, right? Where it's, hey, I need to act on this now. It can also lead to greater satisfaction from your customers, where you're really able to deliver on their need. I can't tell you how many times we fund a business on the same day or right around the same time with multiple products, right? It could be an equipment financing deal and a loan or a line alongside of it. It can be a loan or a line, and then, like I was saying before, kind of graduating into like an SBA loan. But when you're able to do that and offer that to a borrower in our seat, it creates way higher customer satisfaction when they know that, hey, that I was looking for a means to an end, and ROK Financial was able to help me get there. And not only with one step, but it potentially could be steps 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Yeah. And on top of that, just the ability to go down multiple different avenues for the variety of clients that you're coming across and not just putting yourself in one box of one service. Having access to multiple different services is going to allow you to look down other paths in the instance that they're not a perfect fit for another service that you directly offer.
Yeah, for sure. And then again, increase perceived value, right? Because at the end of the day, the more you offer, the more value you are. I always say that as brokers, we're kind of like Batman, in that we're just playing the tools in our tool belt, and the more tools we have in our utility belt, the better of a resource we can be back to the borrowers that are working with us, right? So we pride ourselves in having a diverse portfolio of lending products, and that's really just so we can help in a multitude of scenarios. And that's really the value. It's not perceived. It's true value.
Fun fact, Batman is Tony's favorite superhero.
That's because he's a regular guy with cool stuff and he's super rich.
You think he'd like the Hulk or somebody,
Good point. Good point. You kind of jumped ahead a little bit here, Tim, but I'm glad that you did, because I think that this is probably one of the more, impactful slides inside of the presentation here. And this just talks about, as you're going through the sales funnel, what type of bundles or types of cross-selling or multi-products should you look to market here, right? Or how can you position your messaging, right? And that's really what this becomes. I know a lot of the people on the call here are salespeople, so this is more of like a marketing mindset to that. But if you're a good salesperson in 2024, chances are you're probably a hell of a marketer. So we wanted to just put together this quick slide here that shows you that your messaging should change based on where your prospect is within your sales funnel, as well as what type of messaging you should look to engage or put out for your prospects to engage with you with.
Yeah, and this kind of goes into if it's, somebody's first time seeing your message versus the fifth or sixth email that they're getting, where, if it's the fifth or sixth time, they've probably seen your email. You can even use a mail tracker to determine if they did read your email. So then when you go in on that second, third, fourth email, I don't know if anybody knows disc profiles here. I'm not saying to be as direct as this, but you can reference the fact that, hey, I know you viewed my email. Was there any questions that you had? Hey, was there anything additional that I can provide for you? But at the end of the day, the email communication and the communication that you have about these products definitely should be different and should vary based on if it's an existing customer versus a new customer, or is this a customer that I've been trying to reach out to for the past 3 months or only for the past 3 days, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's you're talking about two totally different scenarios there, and when you're doing that, your messaging should be reflective of that, right? You wouldn't want to offer somebody that's all the way down the sales funnel the same thing as somebody that just heard about you yesterday. So great point. Great point.
And think about that, like when you do have conversations with individuals about some of these services, like your follow-up communication, it should be completely different, knowing that they know who you are, they know what you offer. If they don't close or they don't move forward right then and there, having different nurturing emails for that individual after you did have a conversation with them versus if you didn't have a conversation with them, so on and so forth.
Yeah, I mean, even think about it, like, how do you like to buy yourself? Right. Like I know myself, I'm a big buyer. Some of the best salespeople are certainly buyers. That's for sure.
Those are liars.
Yeah. I'm all about a good sales process. And I know it's all about the need, right? If you're just trying to sell me something that I don't need, it doesn't matter how good your messaging is, right? But if you can show me that I need it inside of your messaging, that's going to instantly catch my attention. It's instantly going to show me why I should potentially be working with you as a salesperson or a marketer, right? So just keep that in mind. What is it that's going to allow you, going to make you buy, right? And put yourself in your client's shoes a little bit, right? If it's small business owners like the ones that we target, we do that all the time where we're doing role plays, we're doing insightful trainings where we put ourselves in the business owner's shoes and really just try to understand, how is the economy affecting them today? How is the weather affecting them today?
The nature of their industry.
Yeah, what's their industry looking like? How are they performing versus the rest of their industry? And really just try to put together messaging and, again, offers that make sense. Right. And ultimately dollars make sense. Right. So when we're selling money, it's all about showing them how can they utilize the capital within their business.
Yeah, for sure. And if you think about it like this, I mean, I know this has happened to me, let alone yesterday it happened to me. I'm talking to one of my friends about something, and next thing you know, I see that something on social media. I don't know if I'm being listened to. I don't know if it's because it's in my search history, but because of the fact that I brought it up or I searched it on Google, now I'm seeing ads and advertisements for it,
For
right?
sure.
Unfortunately, for marketing scenarios with, not necessarily cold outreach, but the outreach that companies like ours and partners like you are doing, we don't really get that benefit of knowing what they're saying, knowing exactly what they're looking for. So the more information that we know about where they're located, what their industry is, what the challenges are within those industries, and we relate that to them, the more they're likely going to buy and or at least communicate and reply, right?
For sure. 150% on that one. That's for sure. All right.
You're not lying, Mike. Everyone's always listening.
Android is always listening. That's hysterical. So is the iPhone, that's for sure. So some products that we bundle, right? I thought it was important to put this in here so that you guys had a good understanding of how does it work, right? Well, we again use that needs-based approach that we were talking about before. When you have a borrower who applies with ROK, whether that's through one of you guys on the call or through another referral partner. We utilize our needs-based approach. So basically, we do a quick interview with every borrower that comes across our desks, and we use that information to pre-qualify them based on what they say as the answers to their questions and the information that they're able to provide us. We then back them into the product or products that are best for them. And a lot of times what we're doing, it could be prescribing a year-long plan of, hey, take this type of capital now and this type of capital in 6 months, and 12 months from now, you can get access to that. So, it really doesn't affect us all that much. What does affect us is then what happens once they start to submit their information, and things may change based on what we see there.
I agree completely. And I did have the pleasure of doing advisory for a little while here before I ended up leading the team in partnerships with Tony. And one of the things that I used to ask business owners were, tell me your short-term and your long-term goals. When it comes to trying to bundle products, if you understand what someone's short-term objectives are and what their long-term objectives are, you can better position the multiple products that you offer into those goals that they have.
For sure.
So yeah, what do you need the capital for right now? But what could you use the capital for in 12 to 15 months? And how can my products that I bundle help you get to exactly where you need to be?
Yeah, absolutely. And just a reminder, guys, please drop your questions in the Q&A. I see a bunch of questions coming into the chat here. So definitely drop those into the Q&A if you don't mind. And go ahead.
I was just going to say, everything that you see here, obviously being a partner with ROK Financial, you don't have to be an expert in any of these products. When you work with us, you leverage our team, our process, our education, our knowledge behind these products, and we bring that back to your customer base. So if you need help talking about some of these specific products, our team and our partner platform is designed to be able to allow you to say, hey, I work with ROK Financial to help my clients that need whatever it is that they're looking for. And when we reach out to that client, we're going to reference you directly, pick up exactly where you left off, and help you with some of that heavy lifting if needed.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I saw somebody in the chat before mentioning a CRM recommendation. My recommendation is to get access to our CRM for free, where you don't have to pay anything. And we will give you direct access to our CRM, and you and your team can utilize it as much as you'd like. You can create leads in the CRM. You can track all your transactions that you're working with us.
Send someone an application.
Yeah, you can send out a digital application. You get access to a custom landing page where you can co-brand, ROK brand, or white label the service. It's really up to you when it comes to the different variety of experiences that we provide. You can get access to our one-page application through DocuSign directly in the portal. You can leverage our offer calculator, which is a custom piece of technology that we have, that when a borrower is approved for multiple different products and solutions, they can go in and use one simple calculator feature where they choose the term that works for them, and then they can slide around how much money they're looking for. And basically, it'll tell them exactly what they're qualifying for and what the next steps would be to get access to that funding. So there's definitely a lot of technology and tools that you can leverage inside of ROK Financial once you are a partner of ours. The best thing that I would say is you can definitely leverage us and the team to learn a little bit more about these tools. Jump on a conversation with your business development officer and have them kind of walk you through the different tools that we have. And then it's really up to you which ones you are going to utilize within your process and for you and your team.
Absolutely. That's what I was going to say is everybody's process here is different. With our technology, it's meant to be accommodable based on how you're looking to leverage us with your client base. If you want to use the DocuSign app, you can. If you want to use the landing page links, you can. If you want to use the hard copy application that you can put your logo on, you can. Talk to your business development officer specifically about the product that or the services that we have through our partnership that works best for you, and we'll walk you through everything that you need to be able to leverage it.
100%. That's our favorite thing to do. Is once we have somebody, is teach them how to use the tools and technology that we've built. Because, like you said, everybody's a little different. Every partner is a little different. Every customer that they're going to refer is a little different. So that's what makes this fun, if I'm being honest. So outside of the tools and technology, there are a few different things that we wanted to talk about that are benefits of being an affiliate of ROK or being affiliated with us. Every partner receives multiple points of contact on the team. And then once you refer over business, there's even more points of contact, right? When you refer over a business owner and they apply with us, there's between 10 to 12 sets of eyes that are going to review your customer's file, and they're going to go through what products or services might be available to them. But you also have Tim, myself, your BDO, all able to help you grow or access different tools or resources within the business. And really, it's super duper important to understand that you're going to earn on all your referrals. You're going to have access to multiple different kinds of financing, right? We had the products up on the screen before. So what does that mean? Well, when you have access to multiple types of financing, you can position them, like we were just talking about through this whole presentation, you can position them to be able to offer bundled solutions, right? If you're somebody that's working with doctors, I was working with a gentleman here recently who only works with chiropractors. So we're putting together offers specifically around no, you're good. God bless. Specifically around chiropractors and what options are available to them today. Whether it's purchasing software, whether that's purchasing equipment, whether it's needing money for marketing, we're showing them all the different ways that they can leverage what we already have set up here.
Yeah, absolutely. And at the end of the day, when it comes down to it, every relationship is different. And the more we know about how you communicate with your customers, how you offer your services, what exactly your services are going to be the best ways that we can help you introduce the products available through our marketplace and allow you to be successful in omni-channel marketing, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And the last part is a brand you can trust, right? At the end of the day, I'm sure you're probably getting messages on LinkedIn. I'm sure you're probably getting emails about different people who can offer different types of funding. You can thank Tim and I for that. We started referral partners in this industry, I like to think.
You did.
You were right there too. Don't play. But no, when it really comes down to it, I like to think we've perfected this thing. We've put ourselves in our partner's shoes for years now, and we really take pride in understanding what it is that you need to be successful inside of our business. So we pride ourselves on showing you how to leverage that stuff. And don't take my word for it. Please, please, please Google ROK Financial. You'll see thousands of reviews across multiple platforms. And it's not just customers that are leaving these reviews. It's partners just like yourself and their company. You guys get a chance to do that.
Absolutely. And, on top of that, I did see a few questions about, what's ROK's credibility? How do you compare against other brokers? I think one thing that really separates us just from looking at this slide is the fact that we're so focused on building successful referral partner relationships that every single thing that we do within growing our business goes back into our partnerships. It's editing the portal, adding features into the portal, creating marketing material that you can edit yourself, putting information on a landing page that you'll find that you have to spend $1,000 or more for to be able to get access to from other services that we're giving away for free so businesses can get access to capital, right? That's our mission. We want to help small to medium business get access to financing and hopefully having professionals like yourself on board with us and giving you the tools and resources that you need to be successful in doing it.
I mean, we've heard countless of the horror stories that are out there, but we don't need to stoop to that level, right? We simply run our own race. There's a very famous picture of Michael Phelps and Chad LeClos, if you're familiar with it, where Michael Phelps is swimming and he's winning the race and he's swimming and looking straight ahead. And the person in second, Chad LeClos, is watching Michael Phelps swim and he loses the race while watching Michael Phelps. We've always ran our own race. And I think that that's what separates us from everybody else inside of this industry. There are a lot of shady players. I'll be the first person to say it. In our industry, there really is no regulation. But as far as self-regulation goes, our co-founder, James Webster, he sits as the chairman of the SBFA's Broker Council. And as far as self-regulation goes, the SBFA has been there time and time again to put that stuff out inside of our industry from the top lenders and brokers alike. And that's where James is, advocating with Congress and the lobbyists to really start to clean up some of the things that are out there. And we're at the forefront of all of it. So as far as where we are versus everybody else, I like to think we're more like Michael Phelps.
Absolutely. And everything that we do is organic at the end of the day. We get a lot of referral partners through social media. We get new referral partners from existing referral partners because of how much they're enjoying the experience. There's nothing that we have to do when it comes to going out of our way to try to land new referral relationships, because every day there's 50 to 100 plus referral partners saying, hey, you should go talk to Justin Lamondo at ROK Financial. You should go talk to Dylan Bedford at ROK Financial, some of the team members there, and just say, hey, I like working with them. I think you can work with them too. And you start building relationships like that. And that's really where it unfolds.
Yeah, great point. Great point. So I saw in the chat some people looking, how do I partner with ROK? It's right here. We made it very, very simple for you. So scan this QR code to get started now. Fill out a quick little short form that will take you to our apply now to become a partner. Our business development team is waiting and ready, willing, and able to reach out and help you get onboarded.
Somebody did ask, is there a fee? There is no cost to getting access to our platform for your clients. So there was a question here about fees involved. Everything that you get access to through our marketplace, including webinars like this, never currently not a cost, and don't think there's ever going to be a cost with the way that partners are growing our business.
No, definitely not. We want to pay you, if anything. That's the ultimate goal, is to get you paid. We also will drop the link in the chat here in a minute as we kind of get wrapped up and move over to the Q&A. If you didn't get a chance to click the QR code and kind of submit things as we switch over to the Q&A, please again one more time, if we didn't answer your question during the presentation here, please drop those into the Q&A, because we are going to be moving over to that shortly so that we can get wrapped up here. If you want to reach out now, you also can. You can shoot us an email. You can jump over to the website. You can call us at 833-3-ROK-BIZ. It's really totally up to you what you're looking for and how you want to connect with us. It's really going to be all about you more than anything. I always say we never decide what a successful partnership is. That's up to you. We know what we offer, and you know how you can leverage it. And once we put that together, that's how you determine what a successful partnership could be. I do want to kind of wrap things up here. I know we're rapidly approaching past the 3 o'clock hour here on the East Coast.
We got almost 90% of everybody on here still, so we really do appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure. And definitely excited to get a chance to speak with all of you and answer your questions and really go into things here. I know we didn't get to everybody's questions, so please feel free to call us. Feel free to reach out to your points of contact. Send us emails, text messages, smoke signals, whatever it takes. We're always down to talk about the business. So definitely would be excited to chat with you guys about this stuff, and make sure you stay tuned for next month's webinar. We're super excited for that one as well, and we'll be announcing that before long. Again, one more time, everybody will get access to the presentation, a replay of this webinar, and just get you guys access to all of the information. Shout out to you guys for being so attentive and really providing a ton of questions here. Always love an interactive webinar. Really, at least she forgives us. Definitely appreciate you guys rocking out with us, and we look forward to chatting with you guys next time. So until then, keep rocking, everybody. Thanks, guys.
Thanks again, everybody.